second graders. I am Mary Bates, and I'm a second grade teacher at West Hills Elementary School. I love working at West Hills, and I've enjoyed working with our social studies team to create our KCS at-home learning social studies videos and lessons for you. This week, we're going to review economics. Remember, economics is how people use the money that they have to buy goods and services that they need and want. In an economy, you also have people who produce or make things to sell. You have other people who provide services to help others and meet their needs and wants. So let's get started with our lesson by first going over some vocabulary words. Our first word is producer. A producer is someone or a business who grows, makes, or sells products. Some examples of producers are dairy farms, apple farmers, bakeries, cafeteria workers, doctors, grocery stores, and other retail stores. A consumer is a person who buys goods or products or uses a service. Goods are things that can be bought and sold. Some examples of goods are bread, vegetables, milk, clothes, cars, and computers. Services are provided by doctors, hairstylists, postal workers, cable workers, restaurants, and many others. An occupation is the job that you have. Income is the money that people earn. A free enterprise is systems where businesses can choose what they want to sell. A manufacturer makes goods, usually in large amounts. Raw materials are resources in their natural or original form. Interdependence is connection through shared needs. Barter means to trade. Want is something that people want but do not need. And the word scarce means something that is hard to find or get. We'll be using these vocabulary words throughout our lesson and in the packet that you received in the reading materials that you have. Here are some examples of producers. Here's a picture of a cafeteria worker. We see cafeteria workers every day when we're at school, and I know that we're missing them while we are out. Here's a picture of bread that's been baked in a bakery to be ready to be sold to others. Here's a picture of a coffee farmer. These are coffee beans that he's growing that will be made into coffee to be sold. Here's a picture of a grocery store where you can see that there are all sorts of goods to be sold. Here's another picture of a produce store. Here's a picture of an orange grove where the oranges are grown to be sold as fruit and made into orange juice. Here we have a picture of pigs on a pig farm and cows on a cattle farm. They might be dairy cows or beef cows. This is where we get our milk and a lot of our meats. And our last picture is of an apple orchard where apples are grown to be made into juice or applesauce or just sold as apples. Consumers are people who go out and buy things. So here's a picture of people doing all sorts of shopping. Anytime a person buys something, a good or a service, they are a consumer. What are some goods that you and your family buy? What are some services that you use? Here's a picture of some goods and services as well. We have all sorts of goods in this picture: laundry detergent, batteries, paper towels, toothpaste. Those are all things that we need to have in our homes and use. Here's a picture of a cheese store. where cheese is sold. Here's another picture of a grocery store or produce market. We see lots of fruits and vegetables there. Those are all goods that are sold. And last but not least, in our goods section is sporting equipment, things that you can use to play outside or play on teams. Here's some services that we use. Here's a picture of a postal worker. They bring the mail to our houses every day. I know you're familiar with the dentist where you go to have your teeth cleaned and checked every 6 months or so. Here's a police officer. And here's a picture of doctors and nurses. They provide services by taking care of our health needs when we're sick or even when we just go in for a checkup. We're going to watch a short movie from Tim and Moby on Brain Pop. So let me change our screen here. And we're going to watch our movie from Tim and Moby on how our money works.
Hey, what happened? It fell. Off of what? Dear Tim and Moby, what is money? From Potzer. Money is, well, money is currency. You can buy stuff with it. This is harder than I thought. Oh, right. Once upon a time, people lived off the land. We ate what we could find or grow. Greetings, neighbor. Barter or trade was one of the earliest transactions on Earth. The idea is pretty simple. One person may have plenty of cows, but no grain. Another person has grain to spare, but no milk. Hey, I sure could use some of that there grain. Let's say we trade this here cow for one of your sacks. Markets let people trade on a larger scale. But deciding, say, exactly how many chickens equals a cow is a problem. And if your cow is worth 10 chickens, but you only need 5, then you're stuck. Traders started using commodities like bags of barley as payment. But grain spoils, and bugs like to eat it. Traders needed some sort of token that would last. These cowrie shells were used as currency in Central Asia and Africa. In places far from the ocean, the shells were valuable because they were exotic, not to mention small and durable. Each part of the world developed its own preferred currency, like shell and bead necklaces, seeds, feathers, and salt. But feathers and seeds blow away, and salt is ruined by moisture. We needed something small, valuable, and long-lasting. Precious metals like gold and silver had value all over the world. They were traded in pieces, and their value was determined by weight. Since weight varied from scale to scale, metal was weighed before every new transaction. Eventually, someone came up with a brilliant idea to mark the metal's weight right on it. We still use a version of these coins today. Coins aren't always practical for big payments. They're heavy, and the people in line behind you get really annoyed. Paper money was invented to solve that problem. Originally, every note of paper money in the US represented a quantity of gold held by the United States. We still use coins for small payments, and some people even barter now and again. Sure, I'll lend you my bike, if you take out the trash for the next 3 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks. Okay, just this week, but that's my final offer. We use money to pay for goods, like food and clothing, and services, like public transportation and entertainment. Which brings me to an important point. Our currency has value because all of us agree that it does. Unlike animals, bags of grain, or gold nuggets, paper money doesn't have any other value except as currency. So if everyone on Earth suddenly decided paper money wasn't worth anything, we'd be left with a whole lot of odd-sized paper pieces floating around. But for now, our system of money seems to work just fine. Well, it's just that I've been putting half my allowance in that pig since I was 8 years old.
All right, so that's some more information about how our money system works. Let's continue with our lesson. Here's a picture of a diner, and businesses can determine what kind of business they want to run. A diner is a type of restaurant. You might go in there to find hamburgers and french fries. That would be yummy. There are all sorts of businesses that are around us. You as a consumer get to choose the place that you want to buy from or which restaurant you want to eat at. This is an example of free enterprise, being able to choose where you want to purchase your goods and services from. Or if you're the business owner, deciding yourself what kind of business you want to have, whether it's a market, a bakery, a diner, maybe a dentist office if you become a dentist when you grow up. Those are all sorts of businesses. You do have to have a budget, though, to decide how you're going to spend your money. If you go shopping with your parents, your parents have to decide what they want to spend their money on and how much they have that they can spend. So you might have to decide between buying food for dinner or buying school supplies or buying a toy. We might want to buy the toy because it'd be cool to have a new toy. But our parents might need to spend that money on fruits and vegetables and other things for dinner so that our tummies aren't hungry. That's deciding between needs and wants. Which of these pictures are needs? Things that we have to have. Which of them are wants? Things that we want but don't have to have. All right, so let's talk about our tasks that you can do at home with your parents or even your brothers or sisters. The first task is to take those 16 vocabulary words and make vocabulary cards. Here's an example on the screen. You can see that I've used one side to write the word occupation and on the other side to write the word job. If you have index cards like this at home, you can use the index cards to make them and just write one word on one side and write the definition on the other side, on the other card. Once you finish making your cards, you can put them all face down and shuffle them up and make a memory game. And by choosing one card that has either the definition or the word, and see if you can find the match for it. It's okay if you don't have the index cards at home. You can use just plain paper and fold it. If you fold it in half, and then in half again, that will make 4 spaces where you could use that to cut into 4 cards. This way you can practice reading your words and definitions and really learn what those words mean. Our second task is about pretending to go shopping. I know right now we're not getting out to be able to go places a whole lot, but you can still pretend to shop at home. You might find a grocery flyer like this one pictured here, or I even have an example that I picked up the other day when I was out grocery shopping. These grocery flyers have a list of fruits and vegetables and meats in them so that you could pretend to shop for your groceries for the week. This is a good way to compare prices. What is the best item for the money you have? So create a budget, decide how much you can spend. And when you pick out the items you have, you can add up the cost of all the products you need for a meal. Are you able to stay in your budget? Were you able to save money by buying something that was a little less expensive? Do you need more money than you have when you are ready to check out at the grocery store? Do you need to put some of those items back? You can discuss all these things with your parents or maybe an older brother or sister and decide what you could do to save money, or maybe you had some money left over and you could buy something like ice cream or a candy bar as a treat for yourself. Here's a challenge. You could write a friend a letter and challenge them to see if they could spend less money at the store than you did. All right, our last task is to complete the word search. If you downloaded the packet or you picked the packet up at school, the word search is included into your packet. We have all of our words in the box at the top, and you're going to see if you can find them. I see one right here. Here's the word barter, and all you have to do is circle the word. Word searches are a lot of fun. It helps us practice our spelling and our reading as well. Here are some additional resources that if you have time and that you want to go and check out. BrainPop and BrainPop Junior both have free accounts that you can create while you're at home. Once you've created an account on BrainPop, you can look for other examples of products or money. BrainPop Junior has some good videos on goods and services, needs and wants, and saving and spending money. You also have access to your social studies magazine through this website at knoxschools.org. It'll take you straight to our textbooks. You can look for our social studies magazine. You just scroll down till you see Social Studies 2, click on the ad with the smiley face, and then you're going to use your student email address, and here's an example of one, and then put in your password. If you have any trouble with your username or password, you can contact your teacher and they can help you with that. And then our information from today came from magazine number 9. And you can go and look and read more there. Thanks for joining us today. I've enjoyed our time in exploring more about economics with you. I hope that you've enjoyed it and that you have reviewed some and maybe learned something new. I look forward to seeing you again next time.